Welcome, everyone, to the Real Whovians Cast, episode 694. I am your host, Matrix Lord 212, and I'm with Chris L. What's up, Chris?
Hey, what's up?
What's up, Gloria?
Hello, good evening.
Okay, so there's a lot of things coming out for Doctor Who news and interviews and whatnot. One of the things that came out was I think someone asked Peter Capaldi, why can't they do more episodes than they're already doing? To which he said that if they were to add any more episodes on, this is not word for word what he's saying, but I'm just giving the gist of it. Paraphrasing, that things would go into massive chaos and things would start to fall apart real quick because, they don't just do Doctor Who. Like, Peter Capaldi is going to be directing Veep on HBO. And Jerry Louise Coleman's going to go off doing something, and Moffat's doing Sherlock, and Gatiss is doing Sherlock. So, there would be no time for him to do any movies. There would be no time for anybody to do anything else. So that is why we're not going to have any more episodes of Doctor Who. To which my answer to that is, well, then get other writers and a secondary showrunner. So that way, even if we don't do Peter Capaldi, hey, you know what? Why would it hurt to give Paul McGann some episodes or do some little mini-series with, the Eighth Doctor? We've never really had stuff with the Eighth Doctor. So why not? But they're not going to do that. What do you think, Chris?
Personally, I agree with Peter Capaldi.
Okay.
I think that if you oversaturate the market with Doctor Who,
right,
or anything, there's going to come to a point where people are like, I can't keep up.
Yeah.
There's other things that I want to watch. I have other interests. Like, for me, I'll use myself as an example. If they put, let's say, Paul McGann's show on during the time of, if there's a wrestling show on, I'm going to watch it. Because I'm going to say, I watched Doctor Who on Saturday. I'm not going to watch this. Now, if they're going to put it on while Doctor Who's on hiatus filming, well, there are other shows. There's Orphan Black. There's Sherlock. There's other shows that BBC wants to do that other people like. I almost said Paul McGann. Peter Capaldi wants to do other things, and I say, let's not force him or any other doctor or any other character, even Moffat, the cast, the crew, let's not force them into just doing this. Because when you force someone to do a job, because this is their job, no matter how passionate they are about it, if you force them to just...
They get burned out.
They say, I don't want to do this anymore. And then it gets sloppy, and then we all suffer as fans, because, this sucks, they are not passionate about it anymore, and it falls. Yeah. Well, I absolutely see what Peter Capaldi is saying, and I think he's absolutely right.
Gloria?
I agree with Chris 100%. I wouldn't want them to get burned out and the show to suffer and everything because of them being burned out. So it's good that they have those breaks to be able to do other things and that the network can do other shows to make the other fandoms happy, like Sherlock and Orphan Black and all those other shows. So it's give and take. You gotta get what you get and just be happy with what we get. And but I mean, at least we know that they will work their best with what they can do. Like the episodes we get, that we know they're putting their best into it because they're fresh and ready to do it. They're not tired. They're not burned out and all that. So I'm like, more power to them.
See, I partly agree with you, Chris and Gloria. The other part is the me that remembers that we got specials instead of a season with David Tennant. The other me is the person that remembers that for the 50th anniversary, we got 2 freaking episodes, okay? And they did a split season where we got Series 7 carried over into 2 years, okay? And we keep losing episodes, all right? That's my concern. We keep losing episodes. We're never going to get the episodes back, okay? So much so that people don't notice that last year we lost an episode. This year we lose an episode. We don't have the classic Russell T. Davies 13 episodes plus one, which is a Christmas special, meaning 14 episodes a year. We have 12 plus a Christmas special, which is 13. Okay? We still lost an episode. Again, we lost another episode. So the way I keep track, right, I'm saying to myself, I want those episodes back, okay? Because if we keep losing any further, all right, there is not enough. They're never keeping up with the demand of Doctor Who. That's the problem. I mean, we go 10 months without Doctor Who. You throw it on, and then what are you going to do to us now? We're not going to see Doctor Who for a whole year, or maybe they'll throw a special at us, and then we'll go for like 2 years, and how many episodes do we have? I'm talking about next year. Like, I understand that everybody's got to do different things, but a show as popular as Doctor Who, you really can't afford to split the season again. Okay? I'm not against Doctor Who. I'm not against them doing stuff, but the problem is I just don't want to lose anymore. I'm tired of, they don't keep up the demand with Doctor Who. They just don't. Last year, you're like, oh, well, Matrix, we got a Series 8. We got it. You lost an episode. So, in my mind, if you lose an episode, you didn't accomplish anything. That's the way I think, because I'm like, all right, what did we have before that? We had a split season.
It's sad, but at the same time, I think of it, I kind of like to kind of calm myself down. I think, well, they did have quite a long episode, like to kind of, like the minute, other than actual episode, we had like extra minutes that we wouldn't have if they had a normal length episode.
Why
like
can't we just have a Dr. Light episode like we used to? Where the whole episode is mostly the companion, and then the Doctor appears for like 5 minutes. Then you technically have 14 episodes. Like, I don't understand why we can't have that.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. The split season thing used to drive me crazy.
Yeah, me too.
I never understood, and I can't think of the reason for that.
Well, guess what? You're going to get it.
Yeah.
Again.
In my opinion, if you're doing a season of a show, I want that full season the time it comes on. I'm not waiting 6 episodes and then 7 months later you get another 6. I don't care for that. If you're going to give me enough episodes for a full season, I want the full season then. You know, a lot of my favorite shows do that now, and I go, why? Why are you doing this? This doesn't make sense to me. Here's 6 episodes, cliffhanger, 6 months later, here's your other 6 episodes. At that point, I'm like, I don't even care anymore. Like, what?
See, now Walking Dead.
But you know,
we just talked about Walking Dead on the Everything Show, right? Walking Dead, we have 16 episodes a year, right?
Yeah.
That people wanted more. What do? They give them Fear the Walking Dead, which is 6 episodes to start, which is completely crap. Okay, mind you, before they even knew what they were doing, they're making a spin-off off the spin-off, which is going to be 16 episodes, which they're going to be like mini-sodes on TV, right, Gloria? Something about in the air walkers or something, right?
Yeah.
So, like, they keep expanding their product. They keep giving people more because for demand. People want more Walking Dead. All right, they're not giving exactly Walking Dead. They're giving like a friggin' stale comparison, like a makeup type, almost like Walking Dead, but not quite. But they're trying to meet the demand, right? Doctor Who, we used to have.
That's an example, though, Joe.
Yeah,
we don't want that to happen.
No, we don't. But we used to have Sarah Jane Adventures.
Yeah.
We used to have Torchwood. We had Russell T. Davies be the showrunner of Doctor Who, of Torchwood, and of Sarah Jane in the same friggin' year.
Yeah.
Wow, what a concept, right? Now, I'm not saying the pressure on Moffat because they did give him a check for the Paternoster Gang.
He just turned it down. Yeah.
This brings up my next article where the fans, there's like a fan petition that they want Missy, the Master, to have her own show. And she's all for it. Moffat doesn't want that because he can't finish Sherlock and Who. So now if he takes that on, we'll never see any episodes of Doctor Who.
Don't want that then.
So we don't want that either. So okay. So what do we do, Chris? We just let them, like, next year just What do we do? Just let him take off a whole year?
Well,
Like, what do we do?
I wanna get to that in a second. I'll answer that in a second if that's okay.
Yeah. Yes.
I want to talk about that Missy spinoff.
Go ahead.
I'm okay if they give her like an hour-and-a-half special. If they give her a spin-off series, that's a very bad idea.
Yeah.
Because now she almost becomes like a main character in the show, and I don't consider her a main character in the show. I consider a villain in the show.
Yeah.
But I don't like seeing villains with the heroes as main characters, and then the villains get a spin-off show. I'm okay with villains getting spin-off episodes or something like that, but if Missy had her own spin-off, people start to get attached to her. They don't want her to go. You're getting into weird territory there.
Yeah.
I have problems with it. That's like saying, okay, we're gonna give the Joker a spin-off show. Okay.
Well, it's their sixth movie. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Right. We're gonna give him a spin-off show, but Batman's not gonna be in it, and it's gonna be the Joker fighting other villains. Well, now he's the hero of his show. So
Suicide Squad? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's like, well, no, Suicide Squad, he's the villain.
Yeah.
Right.
And see, if he was the hero of that movie, it's like, that's a bit weird. And I don't want to see that.
Right. Okay, I got you.
If
It will
Misty
take
gets
away
like an hour-and-a-half episode where she's doing stuff, that's fine.
I think what he's trying to say is it would take away the mystique of the villainous kind of characterization that we know of the character being. You know, it's like we like villains to have a little bit mystery to them.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say, Gloria. You said it better than I was. If you give Misty her own show, what does she do?
Well, yeah, that's another thing now.
You know,
how about this proposition? Like Pond Life, where we have 5 episodes, right?
Yeah.
What if we have a Missy Pond Life type of thing, where we have mini-sodes?
That okay? I could deal with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'm all for that. But if she were to get like Missy Who or something like that,
well, that would be
like I'm not watching that because
we see a rock concert. You survived. My name is Missy. And she's like, yeah, she's like, yeah.
You know, but I mean, the whole thing is it the Misty character that we're following, or is it the Master? I know that sounds weird, but it's almost like she's becoming her own character rather than just being the Master. It's like
when they don't call her the Master anymore, and
I love that everybody's like embracing her and everything. It's just but I want them to remember who she is. She's the Master. It's like,
right.
Don't forget
she said she got an upgrade, meaning that's better to become a woman. Yeah.
Because I think right now it's like the Master asterisk Missy. Like it's a weird kind of thing.
Well, you know why I don't think it's weird? I'll tell you why it's not weird for me. Because the Doctor used to be called, was it John Smith?
Yeah.
Right? John Pertwee. John Pertwee.
So
and also David Tennant in Human Nature, Family of Blood, right?
Yeah.
So like they had that little name that they call him that, you know? So like Missy,
and then
that's
St.
what
Bell's
I
to St. John. Get it?
Right.
And then
what I meant by weird is it's weird in a good way because she's branched off so well. But I think people have to remember that she's the Master.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You don't want people to look up to a villain because then they start killing people. Yeah. No. We don't want that. All right. So Moffat had spoken out about. He answered the question, why the heck can't the Doctor save Amy and Rory, like a fake thing, put a fake tombstone up, go and land in Washington or Staten Island, cross the ferry or something, whatever, right? And he's saying that the timeline is so fragile with New York that even if he had them go meet him somewhere else, it would destroy New York.
You know what, though? There was on the episode, which episode was it? The first one of this season. They showed when they showed all the places the doctor
Yes,
was.
that was another thing I was going to get
Several
into.
in New York, and I'm like,
Well, that's what I wanted to get into it later.
Yeah.
But all right, we'll have to get into it now, Gloria. Thank you. Okay. All right, here we go. Are you ready?
Okay.
David Tennant's doctor took Martha Jones to New York.
Yeah.
No, wait, no,
Okay.
not what you're thinking. When they had the gridlock episode,
Yeah.
like he actually took her to New York, like
No,
very briefly.
New York.
No, actual New York.
Okay, all right.
New York, if you will.
Right, our New York. Then he also took her to the Daleks Take Manhattan.
Yeah, the Daleks Take Manhattan too. I was thinking that first, and then the other one.
And also, okay, the doctor saved River from jumping off a building from Day
so
of
I
the
guess
Moon
it's all the other
in New
times.
York.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's all the other times the doctor was in New York, which is a total.
But not in 1930.
No, which is a couple, like 3 or 4 times, whatever.
Yeah.
Now, here's where I feel Moffat is wrong. Okay, I understand he wants to keep his episode intact, right?
Yeah.
But nobody asked Moffat why the doctor left a weeping angel in New York City by itself.
Yeah. Three cabins.
So, because that question wasn't answered to me, okay,
no, it wasn't.
I feel that's bull. You know, I hope he answers it. Please answer that question tomorrow. Why would, after being upset and everything, they didn't even put like a grappling hook to the sucker and wheel him into space or something. They just left him there so that way the Weeping Angel can grow in power and keep zapping people. Now, don't tell me that once they get zapped, they have to stay there, because he broke that rule. Especially when you're saying, Rory, you can't, you'll be running forever. That's nonsense, because nobody's going after Martha Jones. Okay, the Doctor and Martha Jones both got zapped by Weeping Angel. They got the TARDIS to pick them up, and you don't see Weeping Angel going after Martha Jones. So that's bull. Okay, they were both zapped. Okay?
Yeah.
That's nonsense. In fact, they created their own book because he put himself on videotapes, which would be a fixed point, technically. So he broke that already. So that I really don't. I have a problem with like him leaving New York where he can never travel to New York, because the Doctor, it's not in his nature to accept,
not be able to,
defeat and say, oh yeah, I can't travel to New York. No, the Doctor would spend like a season trying to figure out how to get to New York, because he has to be able to go everywhere. And if he can't go someplace, that means that, you know, he's going to be nagging at him until he's able to get.
And also, what if there's somebody in that time that needs help that has to do with something like one of his mini, villains and things? Like, what if the Daleks show up in that time and stuff? It's like he can't go and help. He can't do his thing. He can't doctor that. Be the doctor.
Well, here's my thing about that too. I agree with you 100%, Joe. I never liked that whole I can never go to New York again. Oh well, because this was a man. Yes, he's an alien, but we look at him as a man who couldn't go back to his home planet.
Yeah.
Because he thought it was time locked, and every episode he would mention.
Yeah.
Right.
Till he figured out, okay, it's gone, but he can't find it anymore, and that's still nagging at him, right?
Right.
This is Earth, to me, is the Doctor's, I guess, second favorite planet in probably all of reality.
Right.
Yeah.
He can't go to one of humanity's greatest cities.
Right.
To me,
that would bug him.
Exactly. He would be like, I got to find a way to go back there, and I know I can.
And he has a motivation, Rory and Amy.
What if Missy, because we know Missy's a villain, okay?
Yes.
in my opinion, I believe she was watching Matt Smith's entire regeneration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if she goes to New York and she's like, "This is my base of operations. You can't come here. I'm gonna."
Right. It's not the Weeping Angels. It's her. That's the cause of the whole distortion.
So, like, what if the Daleks are like, "Hey, guess what? The Doctor can't go to New York." That's
another thing. River,
who's villainy now. I mean,
he said nobody could go get them, but he sent River with the vortex manipulator.
yeah.
No, Joe,
To write it forward.
What I think happened is she probably well, this is my head canon. You know how you can make up head canons to try to like justify or like something that's happened you don't understand,
Right.
kind of filling in the holes. And you know how he is. He's always making giant holes, and you have to figure it out or try to think of something that will keep you sane about it. Well, my head canon for that whole situation with River be able to, get her the message and stuff. What I think is she did the transcript of the book with a note to maybe say goodbye to Rory or whatever, so she could get to say goodbye to him, and writing about the Doctor like he's upset, he needs you to write a forward, whatever afterward, and then she sent it through the mail or something, went like in a further place and sent it to the address, but told them not to send it for kind of like Marty and Doc did on like send it on at this date at this time, but not until then. And then she got it, and she read it and and then published it there in New York in her time. And then River got it somehow and put it in his jacket pocket because she already knew he would need it, the book. That's how that's my headcanon for it. But I mean, I don't know why she wouldn't be able to go, because she was able to go through it originally. She's like, it's less, bulky than a TARDIS, she's telling Rory.
My whole thing with them is that Amy has memories from different realities because of the cracks. She has a special radiation energy, so does Rory, okay?
Yeah.
She's been exposed to the cracks the most, all right? So that is like a feast for the Weeping Angels. I would think that the Doctor has to bring them back to their time, because it would make the Weeping Angels unstoppable because of the amount of energy that they absorbed. Okay?
True.
One, they're time travelers. Two, she went through different lifetimes, almost like Clara, where she was in a timeline without her parents. She was in a timeline with her parents. She was in a timeline without Mel's, her friend, which was River. She's in a timeline with Mel's. Okay, she's in a timeline where they had eye patches. I mean, she has memories of all these realities. So,
Rory being a non-tonoplastic arm.
right. So,
delete
in
it
other
from
words,
you.
the way I see it in my head is that somehow Matt Smith saved them, and they're home in present day, and it's just nonsense. And the Doctor can't know about it, just like he can't know that he saved his people in that time, because the thought of Amy and Rory becoming a Cyberman from Death in Heaven makes me want to throw up. So, and another thing is, now at least I know why River was in New York City, of all places, in 1969, because she's visiting her parents. Okay, she's visiting her parents that are like that age, like old. So, they were in their 60s or their 70s at that time because they were blasted into the 30s.
Yeah.
So that's how would she be in New York, for all places? That Canton, Delaware, the third tracked her down. Why would she be in New York?
Because at first she was in Florida. She was an orphanage.
She looked like she was going to a birthday party. She was like all dressed up. So that could be in another venture, So again, I have a problem with that Moffat. That's baloney. Unless he answers me the question.
And also, how did she get from New York, 1969, to Leadsworth in the 90s? All in one incarnation.
Well, the thing is, now she also regenerated in New York. Like, why would she go from 1969 New York? Right. What is she doing in New York?
Yeah.
So everything's in New York lately.
Like,
so,
it's just that big. There's a big block of time that doesn't make sense.
Somebody is in New York. that the Doctor needs to stop. So Moffat, go film Series 10 in New York City. That's what I have to say.
I mean, I know I was okay with Rory and Amy leaving. The way they left, the more that I think about it, it's like, what purpose does it serve having them gone forever? Like, to the overarching story of Doctor Who, why couldn't Amy just be like, oh my gosh, I'm pregnant, I didn't know, we can't travel with you anymore because we have to raise our child?
Yeah, true. They could have did that. And then River would have had a brother.
Why does something tragic have to happen to, like, all the companions now? Like, there's this idea that they're going to travel with the Doctor forever. I think it would be nice, like Martha, for one companion.
Yeah, I love Martha. I love Martha.
Yeah, why can't they just leave? Why can't they just leave?
Yeah, why can't they just go and do something big? Doctor's old companions used to do that.
Yeah, so they have to have a dramatic...
Why do they have to get killed or trapped in alternate universes or a black hole and they wind up in torture? Like, why does it have to... Like, why?
I don't know.
Why can't it just be, you know what, I had a good time traveling with you, but I'm going to take what I learned from you and apply it to...
Yeah.
I'll tell you why it can't work. Because Moffat doesn't know how to do that. Okay? He makes everything such monumental stuff, big things, right? That when we saw that with Clara in the finale, A Death in Heaven,
believe it. Yeah.
And she's like in the I wanted to throw up. To me, that was depressing. Like seeing that, I'm like, please don't end it like this. And then it got even worse, where I saw Santa Claus and TARDIS. Then I'm like, oh, you should have left it. Whatever.
Well, I don't think we should talk about that because I still can't stand that episode. But that's the thing. It doesn't have to be sad. It could be triumphant that they're leaving because now they're better than they were before.
Right.
So the whole idea that the Doctor takes people and turns them into weapons goes out the window because he makes them better than they were before he met them.
I just was like a companion, like, all right, Doc, I'm leaving. What? Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Just like, that's it. Yeah, I'm done. All right. That they have to devote their whole,
It really pisses me off, too, that Rory's father doesn't know what happened to his son.
He does not know how to write.
About that.
He does not know how to write family, personal stuff like Russell T. Davies does. He just never explained it. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. He never explained it. Another thing is terrible, too, right? Why couldn't they get the actor that played Clara's father for the freaking episode of Tom and the Doctor? Because that guy was terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, he's not terrible because he's an actor. He's just, everybody knows her father.
Yeah.
So why couldn't we spend a little extra money and get the guy? I don't understand it.
Because I liked him. He looks he's cute.
He was good.
And
so
he was
why?
good. Yeah.
It's not believable when you do that.
No. I didn't like the new guy. I was like,
no, it's just bad. It was bad.
First, I didn't even think it was her father. I was like, thought maybe he's her uncle, but no, that's her father. I'm like, nah, that is not Dave.
Yeah, no.
Not Dave Oswald. It's not supposed to
I think Moffat just has a habit of building things up to dramatic proportions, and then when he tries to do something like small, like Clara just leaving with lying at the end of, it's terrible. Totally terrible. So there's got to be a way for him to do it.
He's got us looking for big things, so much so that we're not able to appreciate smaller, kind of poignant moments, like if she were to leave in a good way, like a way that we would actually like if he did it right. Well, instead, he's always wanting to do these big goodbyes that are sad and heartbreaking.
They could have brought Danny Pink back, and she stays back. That's it.
Well,
exactly.
This is the thing that I have about Clara, and it's been I've said this before. The companion is supposed to be the audience. They're supposed to be us and the artist with him. When he explains things to his companions, he's explaining them to us. Yeah. When you make the companions so overarchingly not human, like Clara, They're not us anymore. Now they're the Doctor, and now you have the Doctor talking to the Doctor, and no one understands what's happening. Like, I can't buy Clara jumping into his timeline, surviving when the Great Intelligence faded, okay? She's not human now. So why do I care about her being his companion when she's more important than him now?
And how could she remember all his faces, yet she can't even remember being in a damn Dalek?
Or remember Missy's face when she gets the number from the frickin' computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, she don't remember her at all.
Huh.
This is what I'm saying. Like when you make your companions, if Robin had like super strength, Batman wouldn't need to be there. So, you know.
Yeah.
Why are you doing it? Why can't the companion just be someone who wasn't that great beforehand, before they met the Doctor? Then they get better with the Doctor, and then when they leave, they have become a great character. They have developed into a great person because of the Doctor.
Yeah.
Right, and the companion doesn't have to do crazy things like jump into his time stream.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I mean, this companion, nobody's ever going to surpass Clara now because Moffat's done everything there is to do. Now, how could he ever make a companion better than Clara?
He's setting himself up for failure because now every companion will fail in comparison.
Right. Nobody would ever be as great as Clara was because he just screwed it up that way.
And I know some people make the comparison. They're like, well, Rose absorbed the time stream. Yeah, that wasn't that great back then when that happened either. That was kind of weird. So it's like...
Well, you see, I was looking at that. You know, I was looking at the past episodes, right? The Master made that comparison to Martha Jones. Like, she's crap because back in the day, you had a companion that absorbed the time vortex, right? But Martha Jones saved the world from the Master. So that's, like, just as big to me.
Yeah.
You know, Donna Noble basically was able to regenerate David Tennant into another Doctor with, you know, the TARDIS helped her out and everything, so, you know, each companion is special.
Yeah, like you said, nobody's not, you know,
but even all those
everybody is important.
Like, if you combine them and all their feats, it's only like half of what Clara's done. It's like...
Oh, I know. That's
mind-boggling.
So, when you think about it, Clara's responsible for saving the Time Lords.
Yes.
For getting him regenerations.
Yeah.
For saving Amy and Rory's marriage because she basically helped the Doctor in Asylum of the Daleks. She's also responsible for going through the Doctor's time stream to save him from the Great Intelligence.
The TARDIS.
She's responsible for giving him the TARDIS. She's responsible for teaching him how to be the Doctor.
Yeah.
I mean...
Basically, you know what that says? The Doctor's the Doctor because Clara told him to be the Doctor.
Right.
Which, that is horrible. That horrible. Is the worst.
Horrible. And do we need to repeat the same lines over and over? Because they're cool? You know? That he constantly copies of himself, and he doesn't see he copies of himself. Like, how many times did he use the joke about, what are you going to do with that sonic screwdriver? Build a cabinet? Like, that joke was reused like 4 times by different people. You know? And you know what gets me sick too? One thing I don't like that he does is, like, he puts the dialogue into the character's mouth, Moffat. Like, Clara's trying to be clever. He was married 4 times, right? Mm-hmm. So how the hell would Missy know that he was with Marilyn Monroe? Like, because Moffat put the dialogue in her mouth. It's like all these characters all of a sudden now it's common knowledge.
Although she wasn't there, so it's like.
Right, all these characters now know this.
If she was watching that life, then I guess.
Yeah, maybe, yeah, possibly.
Come on. Even Unit, they got a list of all his companions.
Yeah, like.
Half of them didn't even like encounter Unit. So how the hell would you even Chameleon? How do you know what Chameleon is? The android there. Come on. Oh, no, the Doctor should be afraid of Unit too, because if it's up to Unit, Unit will build those things that would prevent the TARDIS from landing. So that would be like a New York all over the world.
What species has those things? Like the anti-TARDIS device. The Daleks would have those everywhere. They
Right.
would put them into their suits.
Right, they would build a Skaro where the TARDIS can land. They start putting stuff throughout the galaxy. You wouldn't be able to go anywhere.
And that would really piss him off.
And that's another thing I don't understand either, right? If they could emergency temporal shift, right? They time travel, right? So why are they trying to alter time?
Apparently they can emergency temporal shift through time locks, even though there was no time lock now. But,
Well, that's another thing. But how could they? Why wouldn't they just alter history?
yeah, I mean, that's what I said. How come in that last episode that when all that stuff was happening, weren't they just like bye and then emergency temporal shift?
Yeah.
And then
Right.
they're half Dalek, half Time Lord now, so it's like, oh, I screwed up. Like,
First of all, he didn't even know the Daleks when he left Gallifrey, so that's nonsense. To say that there's some prophecy about a Time Lord and a Dalek merger, didn't even know they existed. He didn't even see them. So that's the meaning. If they're trying to make a meaning that he left Gallifrey to the Daleks, that's nonsense. So that's not true. Again, guys, there's a lot of frustrations we have, but in no way, shape, or form does it mean that we hate Doctor Who when we're saying these things. At all. We just want Moffat, when he's doing his writing, to just consider some things.
Yeah.
Would you leave an angel in New York City to zap millions of people? Probably not. So that should be the question that's posed to Moffat instead of why can't you save Amy Roy? Because that's a more of a difficult question for him.
Also, instead of asking him to make a Missy spinoff, they should ask about that. So like deal with the issues you have, these plot holes, these many things that he does that are kind of wrong.
I know how he would explain things, Moffat. He would probably say, "Oh, why didn't you tell Brian?" Be like, "Oh, they did. Didn't you see the minisode?" We're like,
Yeah.
"That's nonsense." First of all, or he would say, "Hey, Vastra created that dream thing, so they contacted Brian through their dreams."
I think if he wants to make that canon, they should actually film it.
Yeah, I don't count that as canon at all. The only reason they put that together was because it was an embarrassment, and he never mentioned it to Brian. So I don't believe in that episode. I don't count that at all as canon in any way.
what's
Unless
that?
I see the one that they told Brian that, like, Arthur Darvill voiced over the minisode where he told Brian that we're trapped in the past. Like, I don't count. I don't.
That doesn't sound right to me.
Yeah.
You saw that though, minisode?
No, I didn't.
It's called P.S.
It's called PS, and it's like stop animation, like take on me, like that type of.
It's a screen. Those storyboards that they draw for shows.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's like the storyboard of what that scene would have looked like had they filmed it.
Oh, that's lame.
And it has Arthur Darvill reading the letter to Brian.
And he actually came back to do that because they asked him to.
Yeah, and in it they have they adopted a son and they named him Anthony. And the son goes to, he's an older man at the time, and he goes to Brian and gives him pictures of their life and the letter, and he sits down and reads it. And he's like watering the plants when he answers the door, and it shows him crying. And he drops the water bucket, and he's like at the end of the letter, he's saying, "Be nice to the guy who brought this, because he's your grandson." And he's older. He's like, I know it's weird. He's older. He looks older.
They should have had.
See right there. That's it right there.
Okay, I'll watch it sometime. I didn't know that was canon. I didn't know that was real. I heard of it. I didn't know. I thought it was fan made. But
No.
they should have had Matt Smith's doctor go to Brian.
Yeah.
Tell him what happened, and have Brian get really pissed at him, and that's why he was all sad during the Christmas special.
Yeah. That's actually, I saw some fan art of that where they actually have the doctor there telling him. And it's like, it's a really sad looking fan art picture. It's like, oh.
I don't know. I always thought that made the doctor seem really cowardly, like he never told Brian what happened. And that doesn't
Yeah, I don't like that.
you would tell him, like, hey, you know.
They should have added something like that to it, too. Then the PS would be better.
Yeah. But again, please, somebody ask Moffat why he left the Weeping Angel in New York City. That's the question to ask. So, all right, guys. Anything else?
Well, that's about it for me.
That's it. All right. Good night, guys. Take care. Bye for now.